From the beginning of time, water has been an ever-present part of our lives, be it solid, liquid, or gas. This ever-changing, life-sustaining force hydrates, nourishes, connects, and each day, humans must consume quality water to survive because we are water. Hidden within the lush vegetation of the Grenadian rainforest, a natural spring rose from the rock on the Ebenezer estate in St. Patrick. 25 years ago, Dr. Ethelstan Filbert Friday, a scholar, surgeon, and son of the soil, stumbled upon this pure spring gushing from the side of a steep embankment. With a small, dedicated team, he scaled the tropical hills, and here, with grit and resilience, they captured and bottled purity. Refreshing, natural, pure. He saw no other choice but to share this resource, to supply the best of Grenada to the rest of Grenada. His vision flowed through the community of Montreal, carrying with it mothers, brothers, sisters, and sons. With the mind to employ at least one person per household, Dr. Friday established the first locally owned treatment facility, Glenelg. For the families of Montreal, this wasn't just bottled water. It was the chance to provide for, to transform and improve their present and their future lives. It was employment, education, empowerment. Every bottle captured the best of the breathtaking mountains, the refreshing spring, the company, the community, the people, the vision, quality, credible, water. His commitment then is our commitment now. Water you can trust. For 25 years, Glenelg has stayed true to this ideal. We've spent years repeatedly investing in safety and purity controls to ensure that Glenelg remains the highest quality water on the island. We've continuously refined our bottling and distribution process, automated our bottling line, and maintained rigorous daily testing to ensure that every bottle you drink is not only free from contaminants, but is equal to and surpasses international standards. A clean choice for a healthier, happier lifestyle, then, now, and in the future. What began at a remote community in St. Patrick has grown to touch communities, events, and lives across Grenada. From Carifta and Spice Mass to health walks and fundraisers, we are proud partners of companies, big and small, of schools, non-profits, and households. We are happy to have grown into a brand you can trust to stand beside you while you prepare for work, study, or life. We look forward to the next 25 years as water changes shape, form, and state. So too will we change and grow to meet the demands of our local and regional market. But our commitment to community, quality, and credibility remains the same. Just pure, premium water. The highest quality water for a healthy, hydrated life. Because we, Glenelg, are water.
Okay, welcome Grenada, Carrico, Pity Mandic, and the rest of the world. Welcome to another Mikey Live. I'm your host, Mikey Hutchinson, and I will be with you until it's about, let's say, well, I can't say time, so I won't even bother saying time, all right? But I'll be with you for the next hour, telling you what's happening. Telling you what's happening in Grenada. telling you what's happening in Trinidad, telling you what's happening in St. Lucia, what's happening in the Caribbean, what's happening in the wider world. People, this is what we call news discussed, not told. I noticed that some people did not receive a notification tonight, so it is your responsibility to share the business. When they share the business, that's how they know the thing has started. Last night and the night before, I think for the past 3 nights or so, we've been having this notification issue, but we will sort it out. I think I know what it is. All right, so folks, share the business so that you can get people to watch the program. We don't want them to miss what's going on here tonight, you know. So share the business, man. Yeah, man. All the share the thing. Go ahead and share it. I give you all that like a moment to share the thing. Yeah, give you all some time. Anyway, all right. Let's get into what's making the headlines, boy. Liat explains flight cancellations. We told you about last minute cancellations last night, all right? It was going to affect travelers for today. We'll tell you what Liat is saying as well. Checkbox facility at the IRD. We've got a notice from the GUT president regarding walk to rule. And the Pope explains his reluctant ring kiss. You know, the video went viral this week, showing that the Pope avoiding people kissing his ring. A tradition within the Catholic faith. We will talk to you about that. Not so fast, mash some bricks. Ambulance must abide by the speed limits in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not even making it up. And I became a bit curious, and so I'll work on that story tomorrow. If the ambulance and other emergency vehicles in Trinidad and Tobago are not permitted to drive beyond the speed limits, how consistent is that law to Grenada's law? I'll need to find that out. I'll call and find that out. All right, guys? And family responds to comments following suspected suicide of a 17-year-old in St. Lucia. And the security minister there says it's time to review the buggery laws. Folks, we have this and more to tell you about when we return. We'd like to remind you that the headlines is brought to you through the kind compliments of Duty Free Caribbean and Colombian Emeralds International and WPG10. When we come back, folks, it will be real news in Oli Lili Lolo. I see that the numbers are low. It therefore means that people have not received their notification tonight, people. And again, I'd like to encourage you as part of your civic duty tonight, okay, in this village of Mikey Live viewers, to please share the program on your wall or invite a few people to watch the program. We'll be right back.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
And so it begins. A journey like no other. Jungles so lush, they make emeralds jealous. Water that sparkles like diamonds. Mountains with more facets than precious gems. This is where good times are had, where love is strengthened, where memories are formed. And when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will never fade. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Trying to get fit for 2019? Then start your journey to fitness with Courts. Buy any Marcy or Land Ranger gym equipment for $4.99 and over from now until March 31st and enter for your chance to win your purchase free. Shop now and pay nothing until home.
On Saturday, 6 April, the National Stadium comes alive with the grand opening of the second annual Pure Grenada Cup. St. Andrew Big Parish Stars versus St. Mark Western Stars. And from 9 p.m, defending champion St. Patrick Crown City Strikers versus St. John Dolphins. Experience pure football, pure class. Then after the games, we move stateside for the top 3 artists in the International Groovy Monarch from Trinidad. Groovy King Swampy from St. Lucia with his man Teddy St. John and the Grenadian Golden Boy Vaughn. Also featuring the band Solid and Pappy Boy. Admission $25 main stand, $20 bleachers. The grand opening of the second annual Pure Grenada Cup. Get into the game.
All right, folks, we are all getting into the game, and we are happy to be a partner and a sponsor of this event. All right, folks, so are you ready? Okay, so let's go. Our numbers are still low. That means some of you have not shared the program, but that's fine. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't change the price of milk. Anyway, we want to welcome the viewers on WPG10 again. As usual, it is our pleasure to have you with us. As well, we want to welcome those of you who are currently viewing on YouTube and as well Facebook. You rock. All right, let's go. Now, the first story that we need to tell all you about, boy, the good, the bad, and the Mikey. So we're starting with the good. All right, we've got our own out there, Grenadian Anderson Peters. He has been named National Athlete of the Week by the United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association people. That them kind of thing doesn't come easy, you know. And after posting the second best javelin throw in the world in 2019, Mississippi State and Grenadian Anderson Peter has garnered a national and conference honors on Tuesday of this week. Now, the reigning NCAA and SEC javelin champion was named the USTFCCCA National Athlete of the Week earlier in the day, before the conference named him Cofield Athlete of the Week with Florida's Grant Holloway. Now, he says it's an honor to be named the National Athlete of the Week. People, national, you know. And Cofield Athlete of the Week in the SEC, Peter said. Now, the home meet, he says, was the best opener that he's ever had. He said, it just shows that my off-season training and my pre-season training is paying off. It's a good start of my season, and hopefully I can back it up with some even bigger throws this week. Peters threw 82.64 meters on his first attempt on Saturday at the AL Skimnit. I don't know how to pronounce that word. SCHMID. Maybe it's some kind of abbreviation or something. You understand? In some relays. All right. So, folks, they're saying that he has been doing really good, and this year he is throwing good, and he's hoping that he can even better that. You understand? So all you give him a clap, no man. All of hey, give him a clap. I'm talking about the real thing. All of listen, no man, yeah man. That's what we're talking about. Show him some love. He's Grenadian. You understand? And he's doing his thing out there. Good. All right. We go in. How we looking again? So, folks, while we're telling you about sports, yes, this one too. We've been telling you about the intersector matches. We're talking about the GCIC cricket matches. All right. Now we have results from matches from last night. All you must write the whole thing. The GCIC results. Blah blah blah. Write the whole thing. You understand? Good. Anyway, so we have Dodgy Blazers versus Huggins Pacers. All right. So here he ended up now. Pacers scored 160 for 8 in 15 overs, and the Dodgy Blazers scored 91. Yes, and they tried. Then we had the Independence Agency Limited versus Nawasa. Well, here that one, here that piece. Okay, Nawasa made 168 for 7 in 15 overs, and then Independence Agencies Limited made 129 for 9 in 15 overs. Then we had Sandals versus Teachers. How do you think this one turned out? Teachers scored 204 for 1 in 15 overs. Them Teachers on steroids, boy. 204 for 1-0. You know, Sandals made 123 for 5 in 15 overs. All right, congratulations to the winners. Good. Olia, the next thing that we have to tell Olia about, boy, you know, we wanted to follow up with what really happened, what caused the cancellation of flights that affected Grenadians. Now, Liat has been forced to cancel some of its flights as 2 of its aircraft undergo on-schedule maintenance, according to them. Now, according to the Chief Executive Officer, Julie Reefer-Jones, this will result in the aircraft being out of service for several days, and as a result, changes have to be made to the flight schedule. Now, stressing that the safety and comfort of passengers was the top priority for the company, Reefer-Jones said the company was working to return to its full flight schedule by next week. The CEO also assured the passengers that their Easter travel plans would not be affected. Now, she says that the airlines has already put in place adequate arrangements to ensure smooth trips for this peak travel period. Now, the cancellation affected the following flights: LIA 374 from Barbados to St. Lucia today, as well as LI 375 from St. Lucia to Barbados, LI 337 from Barbados to Grenada, LI 338 from Grenada to Barbados, LI 769 from Barbados to St. Vincent, LI 770 from St. Vincent to Barbados. The airline informed its passengers that they can make arrangements for alternative flights via their hotlines and websites. Okay, Olia, how are we looking? Now, the next thing I want to tell all you about, boys, this piece here. Now, the Inland Revenue, they are trying to meet the needs of the people. So here's what's going on. They say that in an effort to facilitate swift payment of taxes at its cash office at the Financial Complex, Carana, St. George, the Inland Revenue Division, the IRD, has made available a checkbox located inside of the building, and that is close to the cash area. So all you will have to look for it. Okay, because it's not outside the building, it's inside, so that means you'll have to deposit your checks there as well during regular operating hours. Okay, now they say that to avoid the long lines, taxpayers can place their completed checks and information indicating tax type in the box provided. It says, please note that cash should never be placed in the box. Now, placing cash in the checkbox breaches the protocol and security procedures currently in place at the IRD, and as such, this division, they say, or the division, cannot be held responsible for any cash that is placed in there. Persons in the diaspora are advised that payments of their taxes can be made via wire transfer and checks. Cash will not be accepted. Now, the Inland Revenue Division encourages maximum use of this facility and anticipates the full cooperation during this filing and payment period. Now, for more information, you can contact the Inland Revenue Division on 440-3556 or 435-1905 or email gndird@ird.gd. How are we looking? All right, folks, we're going again. Now, the next thing that we have to tell you about, boy, NAWASA, all right, they wanted to inform you. They would like to tell you those notices from NAWASA and them so that you're not left wondering what's going on. What really taking place in, right? No. So we're telling you what's happening, okay? The National Water and Sewage Authority, NAWASA, advises the following consumers in high elevated communities served by the Annandale water system that you will experience low water pressure with a possibility of water interruption during the period March 28th, which is today and tomorrow. We are talking about Mount Hartman, Gulf Coast, New Hampshire, Annandale, Ravine, The Glen, Springs, Dixie, Tempe, Frequente, Montu, Grand Anse Housing Scheme, True Blue, Calista, and surrounding communities in the parish of St. George. Now, this has become necessary in order to facilitate required maintenance to the Annandale Dam. Consumers, you are encouraged to collect and store water in clean covered containers. All right, 35 gallons of water per person per day for 3 days. The authorities say that they want to apologize for any inconveniences likely to be caused. I would like to thank you for your patience as they will be working towards the delivery of a safe, adequate, and reliable water supply. Now, WASA says that they are committed to meeting your needs. Olia, hey, take your time with me now. Good. How we looking? Right, good. The camera get like a drunk. Isn't the camera taking like a drink on us here, you know? Never hear that yet. Yeah, no. All right, so Olia, today a memo, well, actually it was yesterday, no, but more so today, a memo was circulating regarding people, the walk to rule. You understand? The president of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Mr. Lydon Lewis, is reminding the members of the commitment they have towards the walk to rule business. In a memo dated March 27, 2019, the President General, Mr. Lewis, told his colleagues, fellow colleagues, the union wishes to remind all principals that its position has not changed regarding the marking of the SBAs and the CPEA papers. It goes on to say that we wish to reiterate that all hard copies of SBAs should be sent directly to the Ministry of Education unmarked. In addition, all online final marks should not be uploaded, neither submitted. Please remember that the employer continues to be antagonistic and disrespectful to you all members, and there has been no movement on their part to return docked salaries, says the President General. Now, the note ends by saying, the struggle for workers' rights, respect and appreciation of the hard work that teachers do daily must continue. Yours in the struggle, Lydon Lewis, President General. Now, since the release of the note, you know, there's been a lot of comments on social media, radio, and people talking about things on them like social media programs and kind of business about what needs to happen and what should do and what should do. We ain't put away more in them kind of business day. We here to report the news. We ain't making it up. Yeah, that bit. We ain't put away about it that. Yeah. Anyway, all that we can say is that we hope that this matter will be resolved in an amicable manner. Yes, for the greater good, for the greater amount of people. All right? Greater good for the greater amount of people. Whose theory was this again? For all the theorists out there. Huh? You understand? The greater good. What principle it is too? Is it the utilitarian? Is it? I can't remember. Let me see what. Let's see when again. Oh, your brain no show down. Anyway, let me that talk there. But anyway, let's hope that something. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's just hope that something. This something could work out. And put him in mode. And you know, there we go. How we looking for time? Right. Let me see how what them bright people. Whose theory was that again? I see them bright people. Crispin say Mikey News. The discuss not told. Yeah, somebody say it is a utilitarian theory. Yeah, man. The greater good for the greater amount of people. Yeah. So earlier, here's the next thing now. We told you about an incident that happened in St. Lucia. Alright? Where it's been alleged that a 17-year-old boy took his own life. On Monday of this week. Now, it now turns out that there are a lot of opinions on what should have happened, who is responsible and all that, you know. So, people are actually on social media blaming some of his family members for missing the signs and for not acting in the appropriate manner towards, you know, his concerns and stuff like that. So they came out and they had to tell a story, their story, in a certain kind of way. All right. So let's go to St. Lucia for that story.
Diaspora has been plunged into a state of sadness and shock following the Monday afternoon suicide of 17-year-old Gervais Emmanuel of Greenfield, Dennery. Perhaps even more sensitive than the topic of suicide was the reason behind the teenager's actions, his sexual orientation.
Everybody knew that's how he was. He liked to do his girl stuff. We accepted it. Yes, I mean, nobody would want to raise a child and knowing that's what the child is. But then everybody let him do his thing. Gervais would come at my home and ask me for cut jeans to put on him. I would give it to him. He would ask for makeup. He would do his nails. He would comb his hair. Everybody just let him do whatever he had to do. So people posting on social media, it's like the family fault. Yes, he wrote his note or whatever saying about his family, but at the end of the day, that have nothing to do with the family. Like, you cannot blame somebody committing suicide. You cannot blame the family for that. Who knows what else Gervais? Gervais was always smiling to everybody. Gervais was laughing with everybody. Gervais would pass there. He would call me. I would be correct. Sometimes I would say, "You that Gervais, you know, ain't?" You know, he would give me his little me on and off, and then we would quarrel. He would go and do his business. He would pass, he would greet everybody, talk to everybody. So it was hard to predict if Gervais had anything bothering him. It's very hard to just stay and say, well, you know, because Gervais always happy, always laughing, always, I don't know, like it's kind of, well, from the time that happened, I myself trying to figure out like what really go on with him, because I never saw that in Gervais, never ever saw that in Gervais.
Addressing claims that the family should have picked up on signs left by Emmanuel on social media, she said this is an unfair statement.
Even on Facebook, they were saying, you know, he posted something on Saturday and none of the family members did nothing. But then it's not everybody that go on Facebook every minute of the day. I mean, we're employed, we have stuff to do, so you wouldn't be on Facebook 24/7 like somebody that have nothing to do. So when I heard people saying he posted something, that is when I went on Facebook and I saw, yes, he posted that.
Emmanuel's cousin then went on to question why friends who received warning messages from the deceased were not more forthcoming.
The people that posting screenshots of all what he messages he sent to them, I mean, you all know he's our family. If he send messages to you all saying different things that you're putting out now, why don't you all reach out to a family member and say, you know, speak to Gervais about whatever, because he's messaging me saying, you know, it's like not everybody coming out and say all kind of things, and that's not nice. Like, I mean, it's death at the end of the day. The family's taking it hard as well. So I don't want anybody blaming the family, because at the end of the day, we don't know what really went on with Gervais.
The death of Gervais Emmanuel is being recorded as the island's second suicide. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you very much, Rochelle, on this one. So here's what. Now we also have the security minister weighing in on this whole thing, the national security minister there. He is saying that it's time that St. Lucia revisits the burglary laws. He actually is in support for a review, you know, of the burglary laws. Let's again head over to St. Lucia for that report. This one comes from the HTS.
National Security Minister Hermangild Francis is worried that youth are being discriminated and chastised because of their sexual orientation. Speculations abound as to whether bullying may have led to the alleged suicide of a 17-year-old teen of Dennery. He says the decision to revisit the burglary laws lies with the citizenry.
I've said this is in the domain of St. Lucians, and if the St. Lucians want that to be revisited, I have no problems with that, no issues with that. But I think that the time has come that we really have to look at it. Too many young people are getting maligned because of their sexual orientation, and I don't think that is right. That everybody should have the right to their own sexual, religious beliefs and association with the political parties. So I agree that we should have a review of it.
On Monday, Minister with responsibility for Foreign Affairs, Sarah Flood-Bobre, stated that the health consequences associated with homosexuality should be examined before amending the laws. Francis says while each person is entitled to his or her beliefs, it is also a person's right to practice their sexuality free from discrimination.
The minister has her views, she has her personal views, her religious views and so on. I'm a very pragmatic individual, and like I've said, I think everybody has a right to do what pleases them as long as it doesn't affect the society and it does not impinge on anybody's right. I mean, homosexuality with consenting adults in the privacy of the thing, I see no problem with it. But like I said, everybody is entitled to their opinion, and we must respect everybody in that sort of discussion.
Furthermore, the National Security Minister says he welcomes varying views and healthy discussion on the topic.
Not everybody sided with the LGBTQ, they call it, and then everybody against it. That's healthy. The discussion is healthy. It's just the same way the marijuana. So we are evolving, and we must be patient with every individual in society. Accept everybody's views, respect everybody's views, and I think we'll get on better.
Local LGBTQI organization United and Strong has called on the government to clarify its position on recommendations from the 2015 United Nations Universal Periodic Review to strengthen the fight against discrimination based on sexual orientation through human rights education. This year, the organization plans to increase engagements with the government to help promote an enabling environment for the LGBTQI community. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.
Thank you very much, Gina. And just before we move on with that particular story, the same, there was a minister that he referred to actually it's a senator, sorry, he referred to in his presentation there, who were actually speaking about the same issue, you know, in terms of, okay, so if you are going to consider revisiting the law, are you going to be taking into consideration health factors? Yes, and so there are different wavelengths where that is concerned. I think I'm supposed to have something with her here. Let's see if I find it. Yeah, have you ever? Okay, here it is. All right, so this is what she had to say.
We cannot have any discussion about whether or not we are removing buggery from our law books without also having a discussion on health risks associated with the practice of anal sex.
These are the words of parliamentarian Sarah Flood-Bobre and the founder of CARIFAM. Flood-Bobre has held steady in her conviction against the decriminalization of anti-buggery laws, even amidst recent reports indicating one member of the LGBT community, 17-year-old Gervais Emmanuel of Rocky Lane, Dennery, committed suicide after having to cope with alleged molestation and being bullied for his chosen lifestyle. Furthermore, Flood-Bobre insisted that all factors in regards to the decriminalization of buggery must first be discussed, including that of social awareness.
It is something that we don't want to talk about, but the discussion has to involve not just legalizing or decriminalizing for the sake of, we've got to look at all the health and social issues surrounding it. It has to take a comprehensive approach. And I don't know if you were aware that PANCAP were here sometime last week, I believe it was, and they held a parliamentary session with a view to encouraging St. Lucia to look at some of its laws with the whole idea of reducing the incidence and stigma of HIV/AIDS. And we said we welcome the communication, we welcome the discussion, but it must not be in isolation. We have to look at all of the factors. If we really want to address problems, we must look at all of the issues that cause the problems and address them in a systematic and comprehensive way.
The argument was posed to Flood-Bobre that the consumption of alcohol remains one that causes many health issues, yet the practice remains legal.
Alcohol is a drug that is being abused, and we have a lot of issues and challenges that is caused by alcohol abuse.
But it's illegal.
So we have to look at all of the issues that affect our health, not just one, and that's the point I made. We cannot just be pulling things out of a bag, because, I mean, we are spending a lot of money in healthcare, but the most important aspect of healthcare is prevention. When we built the OKEU, at the time when I was at the Ministry of Health, when all these plans were coming up for health sector reform, the one thing we said we wanted to do, we would reduce the size of our hospitals because we would invest in primary health care. We'd focus on health education, we'd focus on early detection, we'd focus on healthy lifestyles, we'd focus on prevention.
Thank you very much for that report, all right? As we are now moving on, folks, here's that one. we got an update regarding the Pope's viral video. Earlier on in the week, we showed you a video where the Pope was refusing to have people kiss his ring. Listen, man, this video literally lit up social media. Now, Pope Francis has set the record straight according to the Vatican about why he pulled his hands away when worshippers attempted to kiss his ring. They said it had everything to do with the fear of spreading germs. A Vatican spokesperson said today that Francis was concerned about hygiene when, after greeting dozens of well-wishers in a lengthy receiving line on Monday in Loreto, he began pulling his hands away to discourage people from kissing his ring. So, it's up to you now. I mean, this is his defense. He says that the Holy Father told me that the motivation was very simple. Hygiene. So, earlier, the Pope said it had nothing to do with anything other than hygiene. Okay? We are moving on. How are we looking for time? Earlier, here's the next thing again. Now, we showed you a video yesterday with a police officer punching a man while he was already bound. He was in handcuffs. His hand was cuffed behind his back. All right. That too has sparked public outrage in St. Lucia. And so now we have a senator who's speaking about this.
Viral video showing a suspect being punched by a police officer continues to spark public debate. Speaking on the fringes of Tuesday's Senate sitting, National Security Minister Senator Herman Gill Francis called for the public to be patient and allow the investigation to take its course.
Yeah, well, I don't know what really happened in that video. I haven't seen the whole. You've seen a little part of it. There could have been something just before the punch, that the guy could have given him a knee to the groin or something like that. You don't know. So to make a comment about something you have not investigated would be unfair to the police officer, also unfair to the gentleman who received the...
So does that mean that the SLP Senator Joachim Henry has a different take. For him, the issue is also one of sensitivity when sharing videos of violent incidents. He is questioning why members of the public are so quick to hit the share button.
We should not have this thing being circulated over and over on social media. The man may have been wrong. However, I think there is, he has children. Every time somebody send me this, I try to imagine his child, his daughter, how that child would be feeling. If he has a son who is already bordering having issues with the law, how does that help? I think we need to find a way to address issues of crime in our society without making it the promoting an atmosphere of violence. I think the incident took place. However, it seemed more something like people are celebrating as against something that's unfortunate, that should not happen.
The National Security Minister says the police commissioner has commented on the matter and will decide what happens next. He says in the meantime, there should be no rush to judgment. Chelsea Joseph, HTS News Force.
Thank you very much, Chelsea. Thank you very much, Shomin, as well, for advising me on the time. I see that we are actually running out of time, all right? Now, I'm just going to briefly tell you that it's not often that Chicago mayor and the president agrees on anything, but today they were united in outrage over the dismissal of Jussie Smollett's criminal charges. Now, a prosecutor unexpectedly dropped all charges on Tuesday against the Empire actor, who was accused of staging an assault on himself, leading Chicago police to investigate it as a possible hate crime. Now, they eventually said that based on evidence that they received, it was a hoax, that he planned the whole thing. There was indictable charges and so on, and then boom, charges dropped. Now they're saying that they'll do a federal investigation into the whole thing. All right. So let's see how that one will play out. Not so fast. This is a story, folks. Yes, I know I have to run. I have to rush it because we have a couple things to tell you about, and time is running out. All right. So listen to this now. Not so fast. Not so fast. Police, ambulance, etc. must abide by the speeding limits, and that's a story coming out of Trinidad. Vehicles operated by the police services, fire services, and even ambulance are not, let me reiterate, they are not permitted to exceed the prescribed speed limits along the nation's highway and in built-up areas. They are saying no, 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 no. Yes, they are emergency vehicles, but the law in Trinidad and Tobago does not allow them to violate the speeding limits. Now, all this is coming up after 2 recent incidents, days apart, where police officers are being investigated for the death of pedestrians. They say that those who are caught speeding can be liable under civil law for negligence and under criminal law as manslaughter via vehicle can arise once you meet in an accident. You are one of those emergency vehicles. Someone dies, you're in trouble, people. But that one different, boy. So I want to know if that is the same thing in Grenada. Listen, I ain't sleeping to listen. Anyway, like hear this. The first thing tomorrow, I go into the police. I showing them this document, and I'm asking them, what does Grenada law says about police, fire services, ambulance, and the speed limit? I want to know. Yeah, that beat it? Because that would be rather interesting. I never hear that yet. People in Trinidad and Tobago, they are saying that no one is authorized under these circumstances to break the law, which is break the speed limits. That one take me by surprise, boy. Yeah, no. Anyway, lately that talk, you know what I mean? I just wanted to share that with you all. You know what I mean? Yes. What else? Yeah, real thing to tell you, but I realize time running out, so we'll have to start. We'll have to stop wrapping up this segment. All right. Okay. We've been telling about this bazaar in Beaton Bazaar. All right, at the Beaton Church grounds. It's happening on the weekend, March 30th. Breakfast 7 a.m. It goes until 11. Provision and saltfish, bakes and fish cake, tiny log and cocoa tea and ding $10. All go on support the business. You know what I mean? Then they having lunch, oil dong, barbecue, pilau, and pig food sauce and chicken and chips, $20. They having also bouncing castle, video arcade, and all kind of thing. All supporting people business. Right. What else we have to tell you, boy? You having a thing for Valdon Philip in the St. Paul's Community Center on the weekend. All you have to go to that because they're saying it's to help with his medical expenses, his medical bill. He has renal failure. I think it's stage 5 or something. So you understand? So it's a serious issue that he has. A good young man. You know what I mean? I won't go say that just so he's a good young man. You know what I mean? So all support the thing. Don't forget as well, the Special Touch Variety Store is located on the Market Hill, and they're inviting you to come and check out some of their products. Just go tell them you hear it at Mikey Live and come and see what they have. When I say variety, I mean variety. For further information, you can call 537-9497. That number again, 537-9497. They are relating. They are shoes, they are smartphones, they works, dresses, clothing for men, women, and children. Market Hill, you can. Listen, just go Market Hill, go see them. He's very easy to find. You know what I mean? How are you looking for time? All right, good. What else I have to tell you? Oh yes, oh yeah. Don't forget, you all need to call the people name on the hot list. You all have to call them people. Don't say I didn't tell if all the name is on the hot list. Call them people. You understand? So if you know anybody whose name is on the hot list, tell them to call 420-8226. That's 420-8226. We're talking about Garvey McPhee from Loreto. Please call the number, all right? And Kira Jagannath, Vincent St. David, Ayana Paul Vendom, Theron Francis Corinth, Laurie Dunbar, Tivoli St. Andrew, Kesia Strawn Westerhall, Junior Fraser Fontenoy, Donsha Lewis Paraclete, Raymond Louis Mongranby, also Delroy Peters Bolio, Augustine Philip Mamacan, Linus Charles Latant, Omega Antoine, Marley St. Andrew, and Mandalay St. George, as well Dean Braveboy Frequente, Shakira Maxine Frequente, Renisha Regis Lamode or Molinaire, Urban George Sharp Tebaid, Philip Batiste Mardi Gras, Dwayne Raj Jerome Tempe, Christopher Beggs Felix Park, Sherlan Ambrose Gove, and Judy Filbert Lamode. Please call 420-8226. If you know them, tell them to call in number 2. And I'm in. Yes, I. Alright, folks, we take a short break, and when we come back, we have more things to tell you about.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
It's a new year, so how about a new look? At Quartz Optical, we have the latest brand names and styles. Plus, get 20% off credit on 12 to 24 months. Instant credit approval while you are being tested. Get 15% off cash, so you can get that new frame to go into the new year. Only at Quartz Optical, the largest, fastest growing optical chain in the Caribbean. Special conditions apply.
Bruv.
Hello? I can't see you.
What's good?
But I can't even hear you.
Yo.
Hello? Hello? Ah!
Okay, I see. I'm good. I'm coming in.
Ah, there you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel. On Saturday, 6 April, the National Stadium comes alive with the grand opening of the second annual Pure Grenada Cup. St. Andrew Big Parish Stores versus St. Mark Western Stores. And from 9 p.m, defending champion St. Patrick Crown City Strikers versus St. John Dolphins. Experience pure football, pure class. Then after the games, we move stateside for the top 3 artists in the International Groovy Monarch from Trinidad. Groovy King Swappy from St. Lucia with his man, Teddyson John, and the Grenadian Golden Boy, Vaughn. Also featuring the band Solid and Pappy Boy. Admission $25 main stand, $20 bleachers. The grand opening of the second annual Pure Grenada Cup. Get into the game.
All right, we're into the game, and folks, what we have for you right now is the National Report.
NIS to make changes to ensure requirements are met for pension payments. Stay with us, we'll have the details to this story and more in the National Report. With the news in detail for Thursday, 28th March 2019, I'm Delroy Louison. Changes will be made to the way things are done at the National Insurance Scheme to ensure that the organization is sustainable and able to meet its requirements for pension payments. Abigail McIntyre has the details.
The NIS contributions will increase by 2%, taking salary deductions from 9% to 11%, to be split between the employer and the employee. Added to that, the age of retirement will gradually increase to 65. This action became necessary after the recent actuarial review of the NIS. The review is done to analyze statistics and use them to calculate insurance risks and premiums. The review shows that if NIS continues on its current path, it can face bankruptcy in the future. The fact is, NIS is paying out more to beneficiaries than it is collecting. Added to that, Grenada has an aging population, meaning our people is growing old and retiring, but not much children are being made. This is important because the way Social Security pension is set up, it's our younger generations that pay the pensions of the older population. If this move isn't made now, then we run the risk of paying a 40% contribution in the future.
You will have no choice than facing an increase in retirement aid like everywhere around the world. But you, because the situation is a little bit more urgent than other countries, this increase in retirement aid should happen soon, in a sense. In some countries, the financial pressure is not as yours, so we can delay a little bit the increase in retirement aid, but when there is a lot of pressure, as I said before, we have to act now to take this into account.
That was Georges Langis, actuary from BBL World Canada. Director of the National Insurance Scheme, Dorset Cromwell, further explains the current state of the NIS and admits something has to be done.
The issues still remain. Based on the reviews from the actuaries, that for the first time in 2016, contribution income was not sufficient to pay total expenditure. That was a reality, and it will continue. The reserve, of course, continues to grow. It will continue to grow, but the rate of growth of the reserve will become slower. And if nothing is done, in 2022, total income, investment income, contribution income will not be sufficient to pay total expenditure. And if we continue to find every possible reason still to do nothing, there will be no reserve in 2035, and contributors will have to pay, from 9%, will have to pay 22.5%. That is the reality, unfortunately.
The reality is Grenada contributes the lowest to NIS compared to any other country in the region. Whereas Grenada contributes 4% of GDP, other islands contribute 12 and 15%. In some countries in Europe, to ensure Social Security pension is sustainable, they have reduced the payout instead of adjusting the contributions. Grenada does not want to follow this trend.
Dominica will be 64 this year. There will be 64 and a half next year. There will be 65 in 2021. Their contribution rate is moving to 12.75%. That's the reality. From 2012 to 2019, they are increasing by 0.25% every year. From 2012 to 2019, the 0.25% was only attributed to employees. From 2020 to 2031, the 2.5%, 0.25% will be on employers. And in Dominica, they are saying, yes, we are increasing the retirement age, but at every stage we increase the retirement age, you can always take your pension early, you take an adjustment for taking it early. That's the reality in Dominica.
The recommendation from the actuary suggests that the retirement age be increased over a period of 16 years.
If there is a decision this year to increase the retirement age, it will stay at 2019, 2020, 2021. It will go to 2022 for the first time it will go to 61, for the first time in 2022. But when it is 61, you still have the option to take it at 60, albeit with a reduction.
Grenada is one of the few countries in the world that has a retirement age of 60. For the National Report, I am Abigail McIntyre.
Government is solidifying its plans to convert the Central Statistics Office into a National Statistics Institute that is independent and highly professional in the coordination of the data collection activities with national statistical systems. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, in meeting with the division recently, reiterated that since the correct data is critical to the decision-making process, the transition to an institute represents a win-win situation. The Central Statistical Office has already begun to put measures in place to increase the range and scope of statistical data that it produces, with the aim of expanding its reach to the public and private sectors locally, as well as regional and international organizations. A proposal for the establishment of the Statistics Institute is currently being reviewed and will be submitted to Cabinet, while further consultation with key stakeholders will get underway in due course. The establishment of the Institute will be in keeping with the United Nations Fundamental Principles of Official Statistics and CARICOM Code of Good Statistical Practices. The benefits will include a higher level of independence, improved timeliness, data quality and analysis, factors that are expected to inspire even greater public confidence in the data being produced. According to Dr. Mitchell, who is a statistician by profession, historically, not enough attention has been placed on the development of the Statistics Division. The Grenadian leader believes that a renewed focus on data-specific planning will direct government's attention to areas of national priorities, centralization of services to cater to the needs of the citizenry, employment creation, healthcare, and other essential service elements of government's fundamental responsibility to provide opportunities for its people, critical to national development. You're watching the National Report. Stay with us. We'll have more news when we return.
After 4 weeks of preliminary qualifiers, after 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this one incredible day of exciting track and field action. It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Randy James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games.
We're back with the news. Grenadians still own the majority of real estate on the island. That's according to manager of real estate agency Century 21, Paula Latouche Keller. Century 21 and Netherlands Insurance joined the Communal Cooperative Credit Union in a residential mortgage finance symposium and product launch on Wednesday. The session was geared towards promoting the credit union's Dream Come Home mortgage at a 4.99% interest rate and initiating conversations between financial institutions and insurance companies on the benefits of home ownership. Latouche Keller gave the assurance that foreign investors do not own the majority of real estate on island. This, she said, goes against the popular belief that the market is being controlled by foreigners.
If you don't invest now, then I think you're making a big mistake. And I'm sure you, as I said before, you've seen and you're watching all the development that is going on in Grenada. Grenada is on the rise. Grenada is being looked at. Things are happening in Grenada, and don't believe Grenada is on the rise because of foreigners. Grenada is on the rise because of you who's sitting here. The small investments you make on a daily basis, buying the small lot of land, the huge house, whatever you choose to buy, you're making that impact. And I'm saying that to you because I think a lot of people have the misconception that foreigners are buying up Grenada and they own most of the real estate. And I'm here to say that's a lie. Okay? Most of the real estate are still owned by us. So you should be very proud of yourself as Grenadians.
Manager of the Communal Credit Union, Justino Jacob, stressed the importance of self-actualization. He said owning a house is a major accomplishment.
Home ownership also facilitates the achievement of the next level needs of love and belonging, a true sense of family, the true essence of family. We at the Communal are cognizant of these essential needs, and we are proud of our commitment to assist our members achieve self-actualization. We are always member-focused, and we are willing to be part of each member's life journey. We beckon all to come home to the Communal for the realization of your dreams.
And for our final story in today's National Report, the beginning of improvement in Bolong and the improvement of the well-being of employees. That is how Agriculture Minister, the Honorable Yolande Bain Horsford, has described opening of shared facilities in the area. Its ceremony was held on Wednesday.
I'm delighted to see that we have started the changes here. I mean, there is much more to be done. I said all these derelict buildings, we should really upgrade them and give them purpose, because I know that they're all leaking and they're not being utilized as they should. But this is a start. Okay, this is a start. You have a shelter here where you can recreate, sit down and maybe have your meal, your lunch, and chat a little before you go back on the job. And then you have toilet facility. I understood that productivity is very high here. You always meet your quota, and that is, we need to applaud you for that, because if you go to some of the different stations, you always have some shortcomings or something. And so we really, really need to applaud you for doing an excellent job under those conditions.
Chief Agricultural Officer Daniel Lewis says the ministry has more plans in store for the sector. He also recognized the workers of Bolong Nursery for their labor.
And I did indicate that the ministry would really endeavor to see to what extent we could have provided better service. And I know that has been a long outstanding commitment that has not been met. I know since the minister came in, the Minister of Agriculture, she did pay a visit here, and she always, in every meeting we have had, every management meeting, she always lamented the fact that we have to do better as far as Bolong facilities are concerned. So today it's like a dream come true. And the whole question, but why should we be so concerned about having good facilities? Because clearly, it affords much more dignity and comfort for the workers. And I want to implore upon you to take good care of the facility and continue to be very, very productive. I know there is need for some further upgrade of this facility, and as much as possible, providing the availability of funds, the ministry will endeavor to, improve the facility, making sure that you are working in an environment that is comfortable and highly dignified.
That story has brought us to the end of the National Report for Thursday, 28th March 2019. Now for a recap of the headline. NIS to make changes to ensure requirements are met for pension payments. On behalf of the entire news team, management and staff of the Government Information Service, thank you for joining us. I'm Delroy Lozan.
All right, thank you very much, Delroy, for the National Report. Let's see what the weather looks like, and that's the generic weather. All right, folks, so that's what we're getting right now. 27 degrees Celsius. The minimum is expected to be about 25 or so. All right, the humidity 79%, precipitation 8%, and wind 34 kilometers per hour. All right, guys, so that's what the weather looks like. I just want to big up some people on the program before I go. Nika, Samira, we have Sandra, Crispin, Shormin, Angel, Ross, Rose, Camille, Ala, Jane, Noreen, Patsy, Sharon, Nika, Kim, Zaka, Laurel. Hey, what's happening, Laurel? Colette, Val, Peter, Raven. Also we have Cynthia with us, and Suzette, Neki, Charlene, I see Crispina already, I see Camille, I see Peter, Dora, Deborah, and everyone else, man, tuned in, Rita, and everyone else tuned in to Mikey Live. I would like to say thank you for so doing. Sharon and the Bihari family, hello to you guys. That's as far as we can go for tonight. I want to say thank you for joining us on Mikey Live. Tomorrow, God's willing, we're going to have more news for you. There are a lot of stories that we are working on, a lot of things that we have to tell you. All right, guys, so be good. Remember, some people did not receive notifications, so still we want to invite you to share the program. You see, when you share the program, that is how other people get to know that we have had a program. All right, so please go ahead and do so. Hey, Canute, my brethren, Canute, I see you there, man. Mikey, you don't say my name so nice. All right, Camille. All right, hey, big up my brethren, Canute, man. I see Melly there as well too, and Michelle and Elvin. All right, and everyone else. Okay, Asha, big up yourself as well. God bless you guys. Let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. WPG10 viewers, blessings. YouTube viewers, blessings to you as well. We can't forget you. Hey, and by the way, folks, most of the news stories that you get on Mikey Live, you can find it on our website, all right? Sometimes we put up some of the stories before we even come on, all right? So that's just for you to know that you can check out our website throughout the day, MikeyLive.com. God bless you guys, all right? No C, MikeyLive.com. God bless you. Have a good one. Ja! No. Good night.